Ah, okay. I just went live and Brandi just disappeared.
Seriously, I don't even know. Don't even. I just know. Just
I hit the button and then poof.
Yep. No, it was me. It was on my end. Oh my word. Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, and I just realized I
Fine.
had YouTube open, so I was hearing my.
We are
Wow,
unready.
unready as all get out. Wow, we are living up to our brand. My goodness.
Yes, we are, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Oh, this is wonderful. Welcome everybody to the very clearly unready room.
Yep.
I'm Dan Gunther. With me
And
is the wonderful Brandi Jackola. Hello, hello.
hello. We're so nice to see you again here.
Oh, okay. All right. Perfect. I think we're good to go. So, like my
Let's
name
do
says,
this.
focus on hope. Focus on
Hope.
hope.
Yes, hope. Hope is good. We like hope.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah, welcome everybody. We're back. It's been a while. This is a year unprecedented in the last few years of Star Trek, where it's a little thinner on the ground as far as new Trek goes. So we joined you
Mm.
back in January for Section 31, and now here we are in July for Strange New Worlds, finally.
Yeah.
And welcome to some of the regulars I see as well. Ricky, Nathan, welcome. Matthew, Lawrence, how's it going? We are
So,
also unready for a new season.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, we've been.
I was yeah. I was
Sorry.
unready for 2 episodes.
I was gonna say we've been unready for almost 2 years with Strange New Worlds. This is wild.
Yeah.
How long it's been. Patrick, welcome. Hey.
Yay, hi, Patrick.
And of course, welcome to everybody who's watching this later who unfortunately are not joining us live. That's okay. We're happy to have you watching us later as well. So, yeah, man, I forgot how to do this. It's been a while.
Same, especially with, Google Chrome being like, "Oh, yeah, hey, this is a link to StreamYard." I'm like, "Don't do that, just take me, just go to the link, go to the link. Can you do that? Can you? Can you?"
Yeah.
No, no, it took me 7 tries to figure
Oh,
that out.
wow.
So, I was
Well, you're
almost
here.
late. Yeah,
You're
I'm
here
here.
now.
I'm
So.
here, it's great, it's wonderful.
So we have a double header of Star Trek, of course, because 2 new episodes dropped on Thursday. We have Hegemony, depending where in the world you're from, Part 2, and the resolution to the season cliffhanger, of course, from 2 years ago. I'm never going to not be glaring at them about that. They didn't have control over the hiatus. I know there were a
No.
bunch of factors there, but they did have control over whether or not they gave us a season-ending cliffhanger. So,
Mhm. And I am never going to be happy about that. Never, never. It was not a great thing to bring back. Don't even act like it was, people. It wasn't.
And then, of course, we will also be talking afterwards about Wedding Bell Blues, episode 2 of the season as well. So, let's jump right in with Hegemony Part 2. So, Brandi, did you like it? I see you're asking for questions on that subject.
All cards on the table. I was completely expecting a very big letdown, as all of these, two-parters tend to do in Star Trek. I can't think of a second-parter, after cliffhanger season ender that I can't think of a single one that I've liked until now.
Wow.
They had to work to get my respect, and they got it.
Yeah, I feel similarly to you. There have been resolutions to cliffhangers that I've liked, but none of them have risen to the level of the first part. Like that's never happened. There've been resolutions that I enjoyed, but definitely never has a part 2 been as good or better than part 1.
Agree.
And I think that's the case this time.
Agree.
Part of that is because I was a little unimpressed with part 1 to begin with, but you know, it counts in its favor. Part 2 is genuinely, I think, a really good resolution to it. Although the first time I watched it, it took me a second turn to really come around on it, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and that's, you know what? That's okay. That is totally okay because, Dave and I started watching the screeners as soon as we got them. And yeah, we blew through those in like 2 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're both just expecting to be disappointed, and to have it not only be disappointing but to actually be as good as it is.
Mhm.
We were not expecting that, so
Yeah. Patrick, I remember that tweet as well. The summer of 1990 won't seem so long now. Absolutely. That was all nearly interminable.
it's honestly, it felt like it had been a decade since we'd seen any new Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're back now. And yeah, okay. So let's jump right
Let's
into
go.
this
Let's do it.
episode.
Let's do it.
So going back to part 1, there were a number of things that I didn't like about that episode. And like just watch the previous ones for all of that. But as far as this episode is concerned, the one of the things that just really bugged me was not even the fact that it was a cliffhanger itself. I'm not as big a hater of cliffhangers, but they still do annoy me. What bugged me was the manufactured peril at the end of the first part, where they kind of make it look like there's this moment of frozen indecision on Pike's part, where they're yelling at him for orders and the camera zooms in on him and he seems frozen. Um, and then part 2 comes, and exactly as I thought, like, no, that's not a thing they're suddenly introducing into his character here. He immediately jumps into action, as I knew he would. It's just that manufactured bit. It's like the closest analogy I have to it is the Equinox cliffhanger for Voyager,
Mm.
where the subspace things are opening and the aliens are flying around, and they have like, Captain, and she turns around and one's flying right at her, and it's like, ah, and it goes to to be continued. And then the next season comes, and sure enough, they shoot it bounces off, and they close the things, and they're good to go. Like, it was just this manufactured gross moment that's like, we've got to get you on the edge of your seat, and is this going to be resolved? And yeah, of course it is, and it's not what you think, and yada yada yada. So that always kind of bugged me.
Yeah. Did that cliffhanger get me on the edge of my seat? No. It got me stomping around the house yelling at the top of my lungs is what it did.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I even rewatched it thinking maybe this time it'll be better. Nope.
Yeah,
Mm-mm. It's not better.
there's good things in that episode, but it's not a
Yes.
good episode, especially after the high of season 2 generally was, and then just kind
Yes.
of that. Anyway,
Yeah.
again,
Mm-hmm.
see the other video for our thoughts on that. But part 2 is a different beast here.
It
Um,
is.
and the first thing I want to say about this episode is how well it balanced the kind of 3 stories going on, with like
Yes.
screen time and pacing and development. Like, there's a lot happening in this episode, but they really pace it out nicely for everything to kind of go where it needs to go.
Absolutely agree. And that could have been just a jumbled mess, but it really wasn't. And nothing took away from anything else. And that is
Mhm.
really hard to do.
Yeah,
Really
absolutely.
hard to do, especially when people are angry at the first part. But, yeah, there were so many great moments, and yes, there was a lot of tenseness, and honestly, my watch kept going off with high heart rate alerts, even though I have seen the episode before, and I knew what was coming. My heart did not apparently care about that. My brain was like, "We're fine," and my heart's like, "No! Peril, we're in peril!"
At what point does your watch learn enough about you that it's like, uh-oh, it looks like you're watching Star Trek?
This is true, but the same thing happened, with when I saw, the last Mission Impossible movie,
Mm,
because
mhm.
I do not do underwater peril, I don't do it.
Ooh.
Oh, it's one of my most terrifying things is dying by drowning or suffocation in some way, usually is gonna be drowning. And, yeah, I basically did not even look at the screen for that entire underwater submarine
Hmm.
sequence, and but I could hear the things that were going on. It was bad enough that my watch was like, "You are in peril!"
Oh. Um, sorry, I gotta highlight this comment by Matthew. I like this. I saw the hesitation as Pike being overwhelmed at how quickly things went to replicated apples. Uh, that is now one of my favorite euphemisms. I'm gonna
Mhm.
use that. I love that. Nice callback. Appreciate that.
Yep,
Everything's gone to replicated apples, and if you know, you
mhm,
know.
yep, agree.
Awesome. Okay, so let's go with the first of these three stories, I guess. We've got the Enterprise versus the Gorn. So we've got the drama on the bridge with Pike and his crew facing off against the Gorn, trying to learn more about them. We've also got the revelation that there's this invasion fleet coming out and heading towards the Federation, and Pike's kind of torn between rescuing his crew and the colonists versus getting ahead of this fleet or getting behind them, I guess, to warn the Federation that they're coming or to try to stop them somehow. And I thought this was played really well by Anson Mount. I love that tension, and they do a good job. Sometimes the again, see last episode, the manufactured peril in Star Trek sometimes doesn't work as well, but this one I was just like, he is absolutely out of options and is torn between these two things, what he knows he has to do and what he wants to do, and he played that really well.
He did indeed, and he did the thing that I knew he was going to do because it was his only choice, and that was to retreat,
Hmm.
to get out of there, or else face destruction. That was his only choice. And he's also got this whole thing with Battel going on in his head on top of all of this.
Hmm.
And so he's being split in like three ways. Uh, Warning about the invasion fleet, leaving people, the colonists behind, and his own people, and also what's going on with Battelle. And for him to be able to be as together as he is a compliment to his ability to focus when it's most
Hmm.
necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like it felt like the heyday of TNG a little bit, right? Where he's asking for
Yeah.
suggestions from the crew and he's
Mhm.
going around and my favorite bit of that is cause and effect, right? Where they're suggestions and Picard or Riker and Data give their suggestions and stuff, and it's kind of the same thing here. So there's some great Pike leadership moments in this episode, and there's one not great Pike leadership moment in this episode that uh I we'll talk more about this style of Pike's command over the next few episodes, I think, too.
Mm. Mm.
But for me in this episode, there was a moment where they'd been, on the bridge for quite a while. And Mitchell kind of like buries her head in her hands and like is fatigued. And Pike walks over and says, Mitchell, call for relief. You're relieved from the bridge. You need to get some rest. And she says, respectfully, Captain, I'm not leaving until we rescue everybody. And I get the Hollywood shorthand for like we're tough and all this stuff. But Pike's kind of like, oh wow, all right. That to me was the wrong answer in that moment.
Agree?
It was like, no, I gave you an order. You're fatigued. We need fresh eyes and people who aren't, you know, burying their face in their hands and like almost falling unconscious from exhaustion. I get like I said, the Hollywood shorthand is like, we're tenacious, we're tough, we're gonna see this through and yada yada yada. No, I'm sorry. Like, no, that's not acceptable.
Yeah. You're also human, and
Yes.
you also require rest. The thing is that Mitchell does come through with some good suggestions.
She
So
does.
if she had gone to her quarters, and who knows if the person replacing her would have had the same thoughts.
Yeah.
Probably not. But I agree with you. I thought, no, you gave her an order. She should actually obey your order and go sleep
Mhm.
or something. The thing is, too, if it were me in Mitchell's shoes, I don't know that even if I was sent to my quarters, if I could rest in
Mhm.
the middle of all of this. I don't
Yeah.
think I would be able to sleep. I don't think I would be able to even just lay down and be still. I think I would just be pacing and thinking that entire time.
Mhm. And I get that. Like, I wonder if there was some middle ground where he says like, "Okay, no, you're relieved at the navigator position, but if you wanna stay on the bridge," or something like that. Or I had this thought too when I was watching this, where when somebody says something and you have to present a tough front, so you say, "No, no, no, no," but you're fully expecting them to say, "No, I insist." And, "Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay, fine." Part of me worries that she was, like, just doing that first thing, and he's like, "Oh, alright," and she's like, "Oh, crap. I really need to get out of here." I was just being I was just being tough, like, I need to go.
Yeah. Well, that would have been funny, actually. And actually, I wasn't sure when he said that, I thought, "Oh, she's turning him down. She's gonna regret that." But no,
Mm,
she actually doesn't.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, okay, so, we'll hold off on the ultimate solution to the Gorn thing, but suffice it to say they figure out that, solar activity has an effect on the Gorn, which, like, we knew from before, but not just their feeding frenzies, but their, hibernation periods, I guess, so they're gonna use that, ultimately. I wanna talk about Scotty in this as well because Uh, one thing I'm loving Strange New Worlds is doing is, yeah, they're introducing these TOS characters one by one, but they're not the fully formed characters that we see later. We get to see their progression from, the young, brash, maybe not quite, in this case of Scotty, not quite a miracle worker yet, to where they will be. And I love that. It's like, the analogy I would use is Star Trek Enterprise, I think, dropped the ball on this, where they could
Mhm.
have shown, like in the first episode, Enterprise has a transporter and they have hull polarity instead of shields, but it's still all the same. And like 2 or 3 episodes in, it's just another Star Trek show. But you could have shown that progression, that turning into the modern Starfleet, really. uh, what Strange New Worlds is doing with these characters here is so good. Where, Uhura in season one didn't want to stay in Starfleet. Scotty is unsure of himself and not at all the way we see him later. Spock is not where he will be later, and Kirk, same thing, right? So I love that we get that progression here.
I love that we also just get to have Sam Kirk because, we never
Yes.
did in TOS except
Yeah.
for, why. But, yeah, I it's fun seeing the not quite done versions of these people, and
Hmm.
honestly, no one is ever really truly done. We are always growing, we're always learning, we're always adapting, pushing forward, etc., for our entire lives.
Hmm.
So there is no really a specific end product because there's more after that. Until you're dead, there's more. so
Yeah.
so yeah, but I love this. I love Scotty. I love having an actual Scottish person playing Scotty.
Yes.
I love his interactions with Pelia. Just
Yeah.
I love him. I adore him. I want to put him in my pocket and keep him safe.
Yeah. And Martin Quinn is brilliant in the role for sure.
Yes.
I love his like he's kind of got this like hunched over, unsure aspect to himself. And like Barry pointed this out on the podcast where he was like it almost looked like his uniform was tailored such that he was like that. But then in those moments where he snaps into action, he opens
Mhm.
himself up and you're just like, wow, like what a great acting choice there.
Yep, it's acting is more than just your face.
Hmm.
It's what you can communicate more with your body than you know. Just little micro expressions in your body can make a
Yeah.
huge difference and tell a story on its own.
Yeah. Actually, this is a good. I'm gonna plug somebody else's video. I can't remember the channel, but if you search up Avery Brooks master class in acting,
Mm.
and it analyzes Avery Brooks's Cisco, the video gets into a lot of like the little tiny body choices as well as just the way he uses his voice and stuff. It's really good, really, really good. But
I don't
anyway,
doubt
that's a diversion.
it.
I just want to highlight specifically the scene where Pelia comes running in and says, "Oh, Scotty, the Gorn are attacking. We're under attack. We're all gonna die." And it snaps him into action, and he just cobbles together the thing, and it's working. Just that little ruse was adorable, um,
Yeah.
even though it like obviously upset Scotty as well.
Yeah, and I get that, but that's the thing is Pelia has already got his number.
Hmm.
And that's why she did what she did was to show him that this is what's going on with him. And of course he doesn't take it kindly because he was scared out of his mind, but he
Yeah.
got the job done. And that's the thing that Pelly is saying. It's like you think too much when you're working on something and you just need to do it. You just need to do it. And
But at
so
the same time, make notes while he does because
yes,
he's
write
bad for
it
that.
down. Write it down.
Yeah,
That is good advice for everyone in all walks of life. Write it down.
absolutely. Okay. Let's talk about Lon and the landing party on the Gorn ship. I think that's the second big story going on here. Um, we have the inside of this Gorn ship that seems to be digesting the colonists and the crew for fuel. That was disturbing, especially some of the makeup, as you can see, they're continuing to kind of be broken down as the scene goes on.
Mhm.
Ortagus is like missing half of her hand. It's real body horror, grotesque stuff, which uh, I enjoyed because Star Trek doesn't do that too much. So that was kind of fun.
Well, I appreciated it because they weren't pulling punches on
Yeah.
how dire the situation is here. And seeing these people that we know and love going through this and trying to figure out what to do. And La'an, of course, going into trauma mode a few times, and that's perfectly understandable. But when it counts, she kicks butt. I have become such a huge fangirl of La'an. I
Yeah.
think she's one of the best characters in Star Trek history that honestly shouldn't have ever come to life except for Strange New Worlds. If it were not for Strange New Worlds, we would never have had this character. And she is
Mhm.
magnificent. Christina Chong, magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. I adore her. I adore La'an. And
Yeah.
I can't say enough good things about her performance in this episode.
she's incredible, and like she's been a great character up to this point, but I even feel like the best is yet to come with her
Hmm.
because of what she goes through in this episode and what that means for her character. Because like we saw a possible future for her at the end of season 1, right? When she beams over from the Farragut and she's bright and happy and open and gives Pike a hug. And he's just
Hmm.
like, what is going on here? I love that that is possibly in her future. And that is a direct result of being done with the Gorn, like getting past that trauma, not completely over it. That'll never happen, but
Yeah.
like putting a big dark chapter of her life behind her and moving on to new things. I think I'm very excited to see what she can do, because having seen interviews with Christina Chong, her personality is much more like what we saw. So like she's an incredible actor to
She
play
is.
on the way she has been. I remember her in the Elysian Kingdom being the happy flighty princess with her little dog, right?
Hmm.
She's capable of a lot of range, and I'm
She is.
excited to see more.
She is like the triple threat. She can act, she can sing, she can dance. So
Yes.
so no matter where she goes, she can get the jobs.
Absolutely. So yeah, we have this, slowly trying to figure out how to get people out of the stuff, beam them all away, steal this ship. And in the meantime, they get attacked by the Gorn. And this is the one scene where I was kind of yelling at my screen a little bit,
Hmm.
where there's this Gorn attacking, and you have phasers and you're shooting at it, and for some reason people with phasers feel the need to run at this thing and charge it to get within striking distance. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think it's just a fight or flight sort of thing.
I
It's just,
guess.
and they're in, I guess, fight mode, so they think they have to close the distance to their target. And no, you
Oh,
don't want to do that with the Gorn. They will straight up take your head off.
yeah, or run you through, as
Mhm.
happens with Ortagus. Which now the unfortunate thing is I came into this because of what I do and how I relate to Star Trek. And I'll be honest, even if I didn't have a podcast and a YouTube channel and stuff, I would still watch every single trailer I could get my hands on.
Yes.
But I know that Ortega survives this because we see shots of her later in the season and stuff. I did watch this with someone who had not seen a single trailer and knows that a character like Ortagus does not necessarily have the plot armor that a Pike or a Sam Kirk or a Spock has, and was genuinely worried that she was going to die. And I have to say, like, even as someone who knew she wouldn't, they do a good job of putting her in mortal peril in this. When she's flying the ship out and the console readouts are slowly filling with her blood, almost like a reverse health meter in a video game or something.
Mhm.
That was intense.
It was, and when I watched the screener for the first time, I think because there had been trailers, I knew that Ortegas was in there, but they could have not had her in any of the trailers and just pulled a big one on us.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
oh my god, is she gonna die? She can't die, right? She can't, but what if she does? Because yeah, when that Gorn just basically ripped out her middle section, um, whew, that was a lot. She had already lost 2 fingers. Just
Yeah.
oh, just this is one of those scenes that you're just like, how did they get out of this? Because it feels so hopeless.
Mhm.
It feels unattainable
Yeah.
to get rescued and also get all the colonists and other people out. It feels like, how are you gonna make this happen? How is this possible? Well, you'll find
Yeah.
out.
Absolutely. Well, that whole scene just really got me, and
Mhm.
man, Melissa Navia, just what an actor. I love
Mm.
her.
She's
She's
amazing.
incredible. And I was listening to an interview with her where she was talking about ever since last season's Among the Lotus Eaters aired, how many pictures she signed I Fly the Ship.
Mhm.
And the fact that she got to say that in this moment, and like especially like it was very plot relevant, like I fly the ship, like I need to fly us out of here. That was great. I love that.
I absolutely agree, and I don't know if anyone could have done it as well as Erica did.
Hmm.
So, because she's got skills that I mean, everybody can pilot a shuttle pretty much, but this is different, and she had faith in her abilities, and she got them out of there
No,
and almost died doing it.
absolutely. Well, the third story that we've got going on is Chapel and Spock working to save Captain Battel after her implantation with the Gorn eggs and stuff. There's a bunch of things to talk about this. First of all, the idea of odds and like
Mm.
this, every time they try a simulation, odds of fatality are 100%. There's just absolutely no hope until they they bring in Una's augment blood as kind of something to help out. That increases the odds a little bit. And Brandi, I apologize for dredging up this memory, but it just reminded me of in Star Trek Into Darkness when they take Khan's blood and like for whatever reason McCoy revives a Tribble with it, and it was like, oh cool, I can bring back Kirk from the dead. So people are immortal in that universe now, I guess. Anyway,
Mm.
sorry,
It's okay. It's okay.
but at least they're consistent with the powers of augment blood, right? So
Well, it wasn't so much that it was going to cure her, it was going to
yeah,
keep her alive long enough
yeah,
to
exactly.
for them to perform the surgery. So it wasn't like this miracle cure.
It gave them a 14% chance of keeping her
Right.
alive, to be fair
Right.
as well.
Yeah. Which wasn't gonna go well, and then Spock gets an idea.
Yeah. So I really liked this because while this is happening at the same time on the bridge, they have this plan that's like a 1 in 1,000 shot. And then they're doing this surgery, or they're contemplating starting this surgery that has a 14% chance of working. And I was like, okay, I would buy one of these beating the odds, but like by this point, if you're saying the odds are so low and somehow they both pull through, I'm not going to buy that. Like that's just it's too pat. So I'm really glad that at the last second Spock's like, no, no, this is dumb. We shouldn't do this. I have a different idea. Let's do something else. I appreciated that. I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Mhm.
Because if they have a 14% chance and she pulls through, it's like, okay, what do the odds even mean at this point?
Well, see, that's the thing, odds aren't definite, really,
Mhm.
because it's a Schrodinger's box thing. You
Yeah,
open the box and you find out whether Battelle is alive or dead,
yeah,
and there's just you just never know until you open the box. So
yeah,
but, I really appreciated that because, Chapel was getting in there ready to suck that thing into a hazmat container, and, Spock's suddenly like, "No, no, no. What if we do this instead?" And I just thought, "Okay, okay, Star Trek. Okay, okay. You're coming up with some good answers here, and I appreciate that."
yeah.
So, yeah, that was, yeah, my heart monitor was going off a lot. Sequence. Just there's like 6 different times during this episode.
Yeah. So this is, of course, the other character in the episode where if you hadn't watched the trailers and hadn't followed these things, you should be very worried about Patel,
Mhm,
especially the fact that she's not a primary cast member, right? So
mhm.
um, this was another one that the person that I watched it with thought could die very easily, and of course. I had seen the trailers, so and I didn't say anything. I don't spoil people. That would be
Yeah,
rude.
yeah,
But it undercuts the drama a little bit, but they still did a really good job of highlighting just how in danger she is for sure.
yeah, yeah. And it was. It, I feel bad for Spock because it had to have been so awkward to be doing this with Christine when things are the
Yeah.
way that they are, and they're gonna get even more awkward in the next episode.
Yeah.
And actually, David said something when we were rewatching these episodes, and is just his saying is, "Why is she behaving this way?" And I said, "Dave, do you not remember Boimler telling her how important super serious Spock is going to be in the future?"
Mhm.
That's what she's thinking.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's definitely a big part of it for sure. Um yeah, Chapel and Spock. I loved this interaction because it felt so real.
Mhm.
Spock is at this point incredibly immature when it comes to affairs of the heart, this whole romantic thing, right? I feel like I've been on both sides of the conversation they're having. Like when she says, I'm going on this thing, we're going to spend some time apart. And Spock says, "Do you think that'll be good for us?" She's like, "Yes, but not in the way you think. I don't mean good for us, good for each of us separate." And she even, says, "Do not do some grand romantic gesture." And remember that phrase, grand romantic gesture, like, wait for me. Don't do that. And
Mhm.
yeah, we'll see in the next episode if Spock took those words to heart or not.
Mm.
Yeah, spoiler alert, he did not.
He did not. He did not. He was actually giddy. It's a giddy Spock freaks me out.
Oh man.
Just I'm just like, "Nope, this is wrong on so many levels."
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we have this solution for Battel, which involves not removing the Gorn eggs from her, but having her body reabsorb them, basically. And it turns the story of Battel from something a little more complicated. It's not alive or not. She has an ongoing condition now, which I
Mhm.
think is interesting. I feel like we're going to get some interesting exploration of living with illness or living with a condition, right?
Yeah.
Which Star Trek bringing its usual brand of social commentary to. I think there's some potential for some interesting stuff there for sure.
Agreed, and how she's going to handle it.
Yeah.
The thing is that I think Battelle is gonna handle it better than Pike will.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there is that, but at the same time, it's hard to suddenly be one way and now your entire life is different. Yeah, you could still go be a captain, there are commissions available, or, maybe not. Maybe she's never going to be a captain again because we don't know the extenuating circumstances of the future that this procedure will be having on her.
Mhm.
And so it's basically like a chronic illness now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the whole solution to this Gorn thing, I guess, is the Enterprise is going to fly between what appear to be the two smallest stars I've ever seen in my life. And
They're little because 'cause they're binary stars, they're twins, so they're
yeah,
smaller than, if you had 1 star.
sure. And there are small stars out there. There are very small stars for sure. But yeah, they're going to basically replicate a coronal mass ejection to try and entice the Gorn to give up and go home and sleep it off,
Mhm.
basically. Which does eventually work. I do love that scene where Scotty's going through it and he says, "It's a 1 in 1,000 chance. The Enterprise will blow up." And Pike's like, "I like those odds. We'll just we'll just turn it off before that happens.
Yeah, we'll just turn it off.
The rest of the crew just looks at each other.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, I wonder what he was actually thinking, because there's this look on his face like he's saying one thing and he's thinking another. But
Yeah.
we'll just turn it off. It's fine. It's all fine here.
The thing is, I was thinking about this, and Pike knows that he survives to go on to the, his fated future and stuff. But that doesn't necessarily mean that like the Enterprise won't be destroyed and he won't like somehow survive that, get shoved into an escape pod, whatever, right?
Mhm.
So there's a little bit of cockiness there, I think, and somewhat earned because of his knowledge of the future, but it could lead him down some dark paths that like he's not fully thinking through. Only I have to survive. I could get everybody I know and love killed.
Yeah, that's an interesting headspace to explore.
Hmm.
And I bet we're going to see that more and more as we progress through the seasons 4 through 6, because 6 is the ending point.
Season
And
5, actually, yeah.
5? I thought it was
Yeah.
6.
No, they only get there's 4 seasons of 10 episodes, and then season 5 is gonna have 6 episodes only.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I don't like that.
No, I don't like that either. It makes me very sad.
It's rude.
Yeah.
It's very rude. Yeah. If anyway, maybe. And this is just me and my husband, but maybe somebody else, takes over the Enterprise.
Maybe.
Maybe a Paul Wesley type person.
I mean, that would
I
be cool.
Yeah, my husband was the first person to say it to me. I wasn't saying it to him. He was saying it to me, and he's like, "I would go for that in a second." I'm like, "Really? Okay."
Yeah. Yeah.
I've sucked him in. I've made him a true Trekkie, you guys. I've
Nice.
done it.
Awesome. Well, that's basically Battel pulls through, sort of. We have the crew back on the ship that were in the landing party, and the invasion of the Federation has been forestalled, and the Gorn are back sleeping to annoy people in the future, I guess. So that's kind of where we leave everything here.
And the colonists survived. They got all the
And
colonists off that weren't already dead.
yeah, there were a few that were already gooified, I guess, but
Yeah. And I think this is an interesting solution, because this explains why we don't really see Gorn in Star Trek for the next 50 odd years, except for one time on one planet.
mm,
Well,
yeah,
actually, you see a Gorn wedding in Lower Decks, so twice.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I still don't. I still have a little bit of an issue with how Strange New Worlds has done the Gorn a little bit, and it's not even. I'm not using this as a way to badmouth the writers, because
Mm.
I think the writers have done a really good job in the past of, if you link something to old Star Trek, you do a really good job of justifying why. So,
Mm.
like the biggest one, of course, everybody complained about was making Michael Burnham the foster sister of Spock, and I think they did some really interesting things with that,
They
and
did.
added to canon and put things in a new context that made, like the big thing, of course, Sarek and Spock not talking for 12 years because he refused to go to the Vulcan Science Academy. And then in Discovery, you find out that he barred Michael going to the Science Academy to give Spock that seat, basically, unbeknownst to them. So part of it is Sarek's extreme guilt at what he did, which I thought was brilliant. Like, what a cool addition to the canon. I haven't, and I say yet, because they might still do something with the Gorn in the future. I don't know. But I haven't yet seen why they made these the Gorn. Like, there's
Mhm.
nothing they've done that have made me go, oh, wow, I have so much more insight into what they did in Arena or something like that. And that's not to say they won't in the future. I'm just like, does anything in Strange New Worlds change if they called them something other than Gorn? I don't think so.
No.
But I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that it might still be in the future.
Yeah. Oh, and I take it back. There is a third appearance of the Gorn in the Mirror Universe episodes of Star
Oh,
Trek
yes.
Enterprise, but I don't count those because they're Mirror Universe.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, I guess final thoughts for Hegemony Part 2 and a rating.
Than I ever imagined it would be. I was invested completely in everybody. I was certain Battel was going to die, and she didn't. And I actually thought that it was really well put together. Well, of course, Kirsten Beyer, one of the authors of the writers of the script. So,
She writes the next one.
oh, the next one. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
apologize. This one was, oh my gosh, I've already forgotten. I wrote it down somewhere.
Was it Henry Alonzo Myers? And
Yeah, there you go. I think that's correct. Anyway, sorry about that. My mixing up who wrote what.
Also.
So it was very tense.
Sorry.
Very tense. It was better than the first episode, and it restored my faith that they wouldn't do me dirty on a part 2 of a season cliffhanger. So I will give it one giant goo covered phaser that they find in the cavern of being digested.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed this one, especially on a second watch. My first watch, basically everything I just said about the Gorn, I was kind of focused on that and waiting for that explanation, and it didn't come, and I was and then I watched it the second time and appreciated it just for the story, and that's when I was like, oh, the pacing of this is so good. The acting is amazing. There's so many things coming together to make this just an incredible episode. Curse my past self for being so short-sighted, basically. So yeah, I really liked this. I'm going to give it one cobbled together magical device that Scotty puts together in a moment of panic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
and there you go. Matthew, kind of a very, very similar rating there. I like that.
Yeah.
Ricky's rating is a full set of fingers. I like that.
A full set of fingers.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. Don't mind me. I'm just changing my middle name here, and I had to put my glasses on because
yeah.
it's like I can't see close, I can't see far. I can see the middle distance, and that's it. If I can type properly.
There's my middle name for this one.
Yeah. I have to do this one because I laughed out loud for probably 5 minutes, and we had to pause the screener. So, there it is.
Nice.
If you don't know that reference, it's Twilight Zone, guys, with a very, very little Bill Mumy, who goes on to be in Babylon 5. So, in the what's the word I'm looking for here? Science fiction community, television stuff. I love Bill Mumy. So yeah, I laughed so hard, and I laughed again the second time. I'd forgotten about it.
Awesome. Nice. Okay, some good ratings coming in for sure. All right, let's move on, I guess, to Wedding Bell Blues, season 3, episode 2. This one, yeah, written by Kirsten Beyer and David Reed, directed by Jordan Canning. So, yeah, I was so happy to see Kirsten Beyer's name pop up as the written by. I love Kirsten. I love Star Trek novels, and she's long been one of my favorite writers. So yeah, definitely. I know she's written a number of Discovery and Picard episodes. She was one of the co-creators of Picard. Um, I think she might have had a previous Strange New Worlds credit as well.
I
I
think you're
think,
right. I
but
can't
I'm
tell you for
not
sure which one it is
100%.
at the moment.
Yeah. But yeah, Wedding Bell Blues. Now this one I've looked online a little bit more polarizing, I think, than episode
Mhm.
1. But we get a well, let's just jump into it and see what our thoughts are. But we jump forward 3 months. So Christine Chapel has done this internship basically, and we skip past that and get her coming back on the ship. So my initial worry was that, like, kind of like a Tilly, maybe they'd be writing her out for half a season or something like that. But nope, we jump right over that. And the Enterprise is at Starbase 1 getting repaired after all the Gorn stuff. The repairs are finally done. And it's also the Federation Centennial. So it's a celebration episode. Um and we get the moment of Chapel's return to the Enterprise. Uh, Following, actually, we do start with Spock and La'an dancing together. And remember that phrase, grand romantic gesture? Spock
Mhm.
has now adopted this phrase and said, this is a grand romantic gesture for Christine, basically. And La'an's like, I thought she told you not to do that. And he just kind of slides right past that. He is so blind right now. He's got hearts in his eyes.
Mhm.
And that blindness will come up again in a minute. But yeah, what do you think of Spock and La'an dancing together?
I loved it.
Yes.
Frankly, I loved how awkward he was, but he was still getting the movements in, and her trying to show, "No, you gotta loosen up your shoulders," and I'm like, "Yes, Christina, move, girl." And La'an's hair is different. It's not so tightly braided. It's in this nice high ponytail and
Hmm.
hanging down her back, and it's, she looks good. She looks good.
Yeah.
She's making some changes,
Yeah, and she's
and
more open and
yeah,
smiles occasionally too.
she
And
does.
not a performative smile, not like you should smile more, but like smiles out of genuine enjoyment of moments, which is just like, oh, it's so good to see.
It is, and I think that, she and Spock work really well together
Mhm.
because they're both logical, but
Yeah.
she still, has her emotional side, of course, and unfortunately, his emotional side is, going a little bit too crazy, frankly, but I did find that very amusing, and honestly, if you think about it, and because I know certain things like this because I've been in community theater, dancing while talking is hard. It is hard,
Yeah. I had
and
this
they did it so well.
They really did. I had that thought while they were, like, doing the complicated legwork and reciting these lines and having this conversation. I was just like, I was so impressed.
It was brilliant. It was really brilliant. I was so
Mhm.
proud of them.
Oh, yeah, so good. Absolutely. So yeah, Spock. He's going to impress Christine, and she's beaming on board. And when I watched the scene, like, Scotty, you hear them say, "Two beaming on board the Enterprise," but the camera angle, it's zoomed right in on Christine. We're basically seeing it, I think, through Spock's eyes. He
Mhm.
doesn't even clock that another person is beaming on board. He just sees Christine. It's like, "Oh, Christine," the way he says it. He's got a gift for her. And yeah, the camera pulls out, and Dr. Roger Corby is there too. I loved the
Mhm.
direction of that scene. It was so good.
Yeah, it's, here's the thing, Spock was absolutely giddy. He was almost smiling, and
Mhm.
Christine should have warned him. That is a
Yeah.
cowardly thing to do, to just show up like that with another guy. Not cool, Christine. Not
Yep.
cool.
Yeah. Agreed.
Ugh.
I love throughout this whole scene though just how blinded Spock is to like he's going on, he's got this gift, he's just like he's kind of noticed there's another person there, but like not paying any attention. Meanwhile, you've got Lon and Scotty in the background just kind of going like, ooh.
Mhm.
It's so awkward and so sad, but like so well acted and so well directed, I thought.
Agree. And it breaks my heart because she could have given him a heads up. She could have given him a
Yeah.
warning. She could have sent a message saying, "Hey, this is what's going on. I'm in a relationship now. We're coming on board for the centennial, and
No.
I just wanted to give you a heads up." That would have been so easy, but no, Christine is a coward.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some of that for sure. Um so yeah, this is happening. This is Christine's date. Those of us who know the name Dr. Roger Corby from TOS know where this will eventually lead. We were introduced to this character in season 1 of the original series as Christine Chappell's long lost fiance. So, yeah, this is not something that's going to go away, Spock. I'm sorry. Well, actually, he will go away. He will become long lost, but
Mm.
that's after a bunch of stuff. So,
Long lost, and then not quite what he used to be, if you
not
take my
quite
meaning.
found. Yeah. 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 Go watch
Oh,
What
come
Are
on.
Little Girls Made Of in the original
Yeah.
series if you want to know how the Corby thing ends.
Yeah, yeah. Also, can I just say, Killian O'Shaughnessy, who is Dr. Corby, is freaking brilliant.
So good.
He is so good, and I know that he is so good, not just because of his performance here, but he was also in season 1 of Daredevil: Born Again as, like, the head of an Irish mob, and they take over a bank and take people hostage,
That's where
and
I've seen him.
yes, that's where you've seen him, and you
Oh,
wouldn't think it was the same person because he's just that good.
holy crap.
Mhm.
Wow, thank you. Holy
You're
mackerel. I was
welcome.
like, this guy's familiar. And then I of course forgot to look him up. So um that's awesome.
He's
Very
so good.
cool.
So good, love him.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to talk about this character because this is a character who could be incredibly annoying
Mm,
to the audience. And like in some ways he's set up to be, but he's also just like he and Christine are genuinely connecting together. Even though they give him some of the most obnoxious lines ever.
yeah.
I do love where, and we're kind of jumping all around, but later on where they're speculating why he has not been influenced by this thing that's happening and Spock has. And he says something like, "Oh, it might be my superior intellect has shielded me or something." And Spock just looks at him. He's like, "If we were talking of the two of us, I am sure it is not you that has this," or something like that. It's so
Yes.
good. Oh, man, I wish I'd written down the exact lines, but yeah.
Mhm.
I loved how arrogant he was, but I'm still kind of like I still kind of like the guy a little bit.
Yeah. I like the actor, but he's there actually for us to not like him.
Mhm.
But
I like this.
he does a terrible job of being terrible. So that's basically the way to say he could have been super annoying and a write-off, but he wasn't because of
Mhm.
the talent of the actor.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, we should first of all, Reese Darby
Oh my
pops up.
god. I
I'm
love him so much.
Me too. This was a such a fun moment for me because I absolutely love Reese Darby, and Star Trek is my favorite thing in the entire world, obviously. So to have the two of them together, it's like Reese peanut butter cups. It's like
Mhm,
you got peanut butter in my chocolate, and it's awesome.
mhm, mhm,
It's so good.
mhm. The first time I ever remember seeing, Reese Darby was the movie What We Do in the Shadows.
Mhm.
There was a television series that,
Yeah.
that ran for 6 seasons, which also, if you haven't seen it, you should see it, because it's just brilliant. It's brilliant, and it's brilliant, and you'll get to see Doug Jones as a vampire, so, from time to time. But, yeah, Reese Darby, the and the thing that really made him stick with me was in What We Do in the Shadows is he's part of a werewolf coven sort of thing, and one they're getting into a tussle with the vampires, and somebody swears, and he's like, "We're werewolves, not swearwolves." It's like, be kind. Don't
Oh,
have to
man.
be mean.
Yeah. Reese
Yeah,
Darby is
he's
wonderful.
he's a genius, and I love him.
Yeah.
That's all I have
My
to say.
Yeah, my introduction to him was, a show called Flight of the Conchords.
Oh yes, Flight of the Conchords.
Murray, uh, great. And then, of course, if you haven't seen Our Flag Means Death, you absolutely need to watch that. I was reading an interview where basically the showrunners of Strange New Worlds watched Our Flag Means Death, and like his kind of period costume. They're like, I have
It
an
looks
idea.
great. It looks great on
Absolutely.
him.
And yeah, very you'll see him pop up all over the place. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. He's the little introductory
Mhm.
um guy. Yeah, he
Yeah.
shows up everywhere, and he's always wonderful.
He did a voice in the, Voltron revival cartoon.
Oh, cool.
Um, he's done movies as well, of course, a lot of, New Zealand movies, of course,
Mhm.
and they're starting to be available outside of New Zealand,
Yeah.
and, no matter what he does, he's fantastic.
No. Reese's Pieces. Okay, yeah. Wonderful pun game. Love it. Love it.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that.
Absolutely.
Perfection.
So yeah, it's clear that this connection between Chapel and Corby isn't going away, and Spock is witnessing this in front of him, and he goes off to drink by himself basically. And the bartender, as we see in the reflection, is not he's a Vulcan bartender apparently, but we of course see him as he is, and we'll speculate on who this character is a little later because I think that's a bit of a discussion.
Mm,
But yeah, he uses the quantum leap effect, is what I call it, where you see the mirror is how other people see him, but we get to see Reese Darby, or in the case of Quantum Leap, Scott Bakula. So Spock basically makes a wish, sort of, and this character alters reality to make it so.
mhm,
So instead of celebrating the Federation centennial, they're celebrating the impending nuptials between Spock and Chapel, and they're going to get married. Um, and I think this is an interesting story for what it says about Spock,
mm,
because at some point he becomes aware that it's not real. And I think all of us at some point in our lives are tempted, like if things went your way and all you had to do was lie to yourself,
mm,
I think a lot of us would jump at that chance. I think a lot of us do jump at that chance. I think a lot of us live that every day. um Spock, once he realizes that the world is wrong, he's upset by it, he's annoyed by it, but he knows that it must go back to the way it actually is, and his friends shouldn't be enthralled to his desires, right?
mm.
And I think that's an important thing to note about his character.
Agreed. Well, and this realization happens because he knocks Corby out, just flattens him.
That was so good.
It was so unexpected. It's like he's got this angry face on, and then just pow! I'm like, dude.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then he just waits for Corby to regain consciousness. Just sit there waiting.
I do love when he finally wakes up and sees Spock next to him. He's like, "Ah!" I'm not going to hit you again.
Oh, that was great. But yeah, and the thing is that it's not any one thing that is consistent as far as breaking people out of this delusion.
Hmm. Yeah, it seems to be tied to strong emotions, is what
Hmm.
they and in Spock's case, it was an intense um, hatred, anger. As soon as he lashes out, it kind of snaps him out of it. For Corby, it was love, I guess, intense love, and that's hmm, interesting that Christine wasn't immediately out of it too. Huh. Anyway, I just thought of that now.
Hmm.
But I enjoyed this kind of game we play as we go around and they're trying to snap people out of it and it's just not working. Everyone's just kind of got their blinders on. They don't acknowledge the inconsistencies and stuff. Um, Spock trying to get Sam Kirk mad. Nobody likes your mustache. That was great.
That made such great joy because the mustache is so dumb. But they did it anyway. They're like, nope, this is canon.
Yep.
This is canon.
Yep. I
And
appreciate it.
and God bless Dan Janot for doing it. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen him without the mustache, but he is hot as hell.
All of that was so good.
Hmm.
Oh, and Pike's wearing his green wraparound. That's how you know this is a comedy episode.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, basically, Reese Darby's character is masquerading as a wedding planner, an Andorian wedding planner. Um, he's doing things like making Corby the maid of honor and giving him a ridiculous costume. Uh, and there seems to be no way to kind of stop this all from happening until the actual ceremony. Um, in a really, really great scene where Spock is quoting love poetry, and that is what snaps Christine out of it. That was a
Mhm.
wonderful scene. And the heartbreak I had for Spock, who's basically arguing with all of his passion for the unraveling of his greatest dream.
Yeah,
Which is really sad.
it is really sad. And honestly, Chapel, when she's realizing it, the look on her face is just perfection.
Yeah.
It's not an automatic just all of a sudden thing. It's a little bit of progression and it's really just so well done. It is just
Mhm.
so well done. And the outfit was ridiculous and not in a good way. Hated it.
I loved the costume design in this episode.
I do love the costume design, but that as a wedding dress, no. No, I'm sorry, but no. And what was with the big hood thing in the back that was supposedly the veil? No. No. Don't like that at all. But yeah, there were a lot of people in a lot of great outfits in that whole
Mhm.
wedding scene. And of course one of my favorite things is that poor Corby has this flower wreath on his head and he tells Spock, you know, I've tried everything I could, but he told me if I didn't play along, he'd wish us all into a cornfield. And that's what I held with laughter for 5 minutes, and we had to pause the thing. So
That was great.
it was so
Um,
good.
Also, like in it, whoops, geez, whack the microphone there. In addition to the wreath of flowers, that big poofy bow tie.
Uh-huh. And wasn't his shirt like ruffled too?
Oh man, there was so
Yeah.
much wrong with his costume. I love
Mm,
that.
yeah.
And then yeah, when he's objecting too much, he gets turned into the dog. Everyone is just like, "Yep,
Hmm.
that's okay." Um,
Yeah.
I
Sam's just sitting there holding the leash like nothing's wrong.
yeah, and then like that dog was so well trained too. Like Sam Kirk just like, and they look at each other
Mm,
reacting to things. That was so great.
perfection.
Um, Also, I love Reese Darby's performance as he gets more and more petulant towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, well, he's a dog, so just I love all of that stuff. Um, until you get to the revelation, much like at the end of the original series episode, the Squire of Gothos. He's just a child, right? Um, yeah. So, okay, let's talk about Reese Darby's character, Trelane.
You know what? I could absolutely say that he could be Trelane. Why not? I mean,
Mhm,
with the way that he's dressed. But at the same time, arguments have been made throughout the years that Trelane is a Q.
mhm.
So it kind of works on both levels for me.
Because we get the father appear as a gaseous cloud form, and as soon as the voice started, I was like, "Oh my god,
Yes.
they
This
got
this
John Delancey."
yes. Yes. When that happened, Dave and I were sitting, side by side, and when that happened, we both went,
Yep, me and Nikki too, same
"Yeah."
thing. Oh, man. So, there's a number of implications, and when I initially watched this, I kind of did a little bit of mental gymnastics. When we've seen Q lately, he said things like, "Don't think too linearly," right?
Mhm.
So, the Trelane and the Squire of Gothos seem to not understand certain things about the Earth he was observing, that because he was so far away, it was the speed of light and stuff. This Trelane is at Earth before that happens, but he could still be Trelane from after the Squire of Gothos, right? Like there's nothing
Yes.
that says it's linear. Um, to undercut all of that, somebody else just said, well, he's probably just messing with Kirk and crew in Squire of Gothos and knows exactly what he's doing.
Mhm.
Okay, sure, that could be too. Um, the other thing is because Q shows up as his father, or at least the voice of John Delancey does, is Trelane and Q's son from Star Trek Voyager one and the same? Because that was the first child that the Q had had in like millions or billions of years or something.
This is true, but at the
Again,
same
linear doesn't mean anything though
yeah,
either.
that's the thing, is that the Q continuum exists outside of time.
Mhm.
And so time doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah.
So this Q could absolutely be the same Q that had a child in Voyager. And because again, time has really no meaning for them. That's how we can still have, the older Q in Star Trek Picard and both the younger Q in
Yep.
Star Trek Picard. It's because they live outside of time. And we
Yeah.
can't wrap our little brains around that. So it doesn't matter at what point Trelane was messing with, Kirk's Enterprise. It doesn't matter because it's all the same to them.
Right now, the Borg Queen is watching our conversation going, "You're thinking so three-dimensionally. How
Mhm.
small you've become."
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think, yeah, it's so far above our plane of existence that, yeah, it doesn't, sure.
It doesn't
Any
it doesn't
explanation
hurt.
is like, "Could be."
Yeah, it doesn't hurt continuity at all because of
No,
the way the Q continuum exists.
absolutely. Yeah. Now, I do have one. Do you think we're going to see Reese Darby's character show up again?
Oh, I would love that.
That would be wonderful. I have one very tenuous little link that makes me wonder because at one point in this episode, we'll just call him Trelane for shorthand's sake. Trelane shrinks Spock down and puts him in a glass. He's like, "Oh, I've got my own little Vulcan terrarium." And they released the episode titles for the rest of the season sometime back, and the second last episode of the season is called Terrarium. And I've heard the word terrarium maybe a handful of times in the last month, and all of them have been either in this episode or referring to that later episode. So I'm like, interesting. Probably nothing, but it was just enough to make my eyebrow go.
Well, I guess we'll see in 7 weeks or so. I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right. So yeah, I like this too. Maybe all powerful extra-dimensional beings sound like John Delancey. That's I mean, that's job security right there. That's great.
Loved it.
Last little bit I want to talk about is where my name, the fact that like we heard Wham's "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go" at the end of the episode. I was just like, this is weird, but I'm here for it. I like it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just like, oh, George Michael, why are you gone?
Yeah.
That's every time I hear something that was from Wham or from just George Michael's independent career or solo career, I'm just like, why are you gone? Why are you gone?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I never had the chance to see him live, but I have seen videos of live performances, and that dude sounds exactly the same live as he does on albums. He was amazing. Amazing. And he was gone way too soon.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. I like this comment by Wellington. This is a My Little Pony crossover episode. Discord has been Trelane this whole time. Or Trelane's father.
I love it.
It's great. I like it. Ricky with another great comment too here. On a totally different topic, do we have Beckett Mariner to thank for Uhura being so much more relaxed in this episode? I like
Hell
that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, we do.
I like that. We didn't talk about Beto either and Uhura and their flirtation.
Oh, yes. I love Beto, and Uhura's hair is fierce, fantastic. Love it. And I want to see them together.
They're pretty cute together.
They're so cute together.
In a really annoying way, according to Ortagus, which yeah. Oh, okay. Uhura's hair, by the way, I love it. Like, it looks so good. If you watch Hegemony Part II, she still has the like closely shorn hair, but if you look in some scenes, it's big. Like, they did an engineering marvel because they didn't film these apart. They were all filmed together as season 3. They didn't film part 2 back when they did part 1. They like undertook a massive engineering feat to get Uhura's hair to conform to her head as close as possible. There's just a couple shots where you can tell like, whoa, her head is very big. It's just because there's so much hair they've packed in there. And I'm just like, wow. Like, I hope the hair department got overtime for that or extra something, or an Emmy. Like,
yeah.
that's
well,
amazing.
And it probably was very uncomfortable for
It couldn't have
Celia.
been. Yeah.
So
absolutely. Yeah.
you would never know it. You would never know it from her face.
No, definitely. So one last thing with Ortagus too is this: we get an indication that she is suffering from some pretty extreme PTSD from her encounter with the Gorn, which, duh, like, of course you would.
Yeah.
So yeah, she leaves the wedding, or not the wedding. It's not a wedding anymore. She leaves the centennial celebration, very upset, and we see her working out and imagining the Gorn attacking her, right? Oof, that was chilling ending for sure.
Yes, God forbid you go to therapy.
Yeah, right. Should put ship's counselors on ships or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right? Just honestly, I don't know why therapy is still such a dirty word in this future that is Star Trek.
Yeah.
Don't I wish that they would stop doing that. I wish that they would show therapy in a good light like they did in Discovery.
Yeah.
So, I just, I want better than that because people think if you're going to therapy, then you failed somehow. No, you are going to therapy to get yourself back. That
Yeah.
is what you are doing.
Absolutely. It's like if you go to the doctor because you fractured your ankle. Did you
Mhm.
fail because you
No,
had to go to the doctor? No.
no.
You're doing what you need to get better. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Same goes for your brain.
Yeah. Absolutely. So quick little things that I wanted to bring up about the end of the episode or this episode in general. The starships that are around Starbase One that you see in the background, a
Mhm.
couple of them caught my eye. There's a couple of Crossfield class starships that look exactly like the Discovery there, which I was happy to see. I'm glad they're still around. That's really
Yep,
cool.
that makes me happy. I really like the Crossfield class,
I do
but,
too. Hey,
the pizza cutter, um, it's
right here.
just yeah, it's sleek and it's sexy, and I just like it.
Absolutely. That's a
And
cool ship.
it's so different from everything else from that time period, so
Mhm.
I love it.
The other thing also is where is it? The new nurse, the medical ensign.
Love him! Oh my god, love him!
He's
Love
so
him!
great.
Love him! Want to keep him forever and ever and ever
Me
and
too.
ever. Just
He's
I love him.
his energy. I love how Mbenga relates to him. There's just yeah, there's it's a great energy to have there and the he was like, "Oh, he's going to leave because Christine's back." But nope, he's got a more permanent position on the ship. So, yeah, I certainly hope we'll see more of him in this season.
I adore him. I adore him.
Yeah,
Yeah. So cute.
absolutely. Yeah. Final thoughts and a rating for Wedding Bell Blues or anything that we've not mentioned that I'm not thinking of right now. Oh, the
Uh,
Adosian bartender. Sorry.
yes, the Adosian bartender, absolutely. She's awesome, and I hope we get to see her in many times in the future. And yeah, it was such a surprise. I'm like, wait, 3 arms? She's an Adosian.
That was cool, yeah.
That was really cool. I liked that. If comedy episodes don't always hit right with Star Trek. And an argument could be made for either way with this one, depending on what you want in your comedy. Um, I I found it interesting that they balanced the comedy with more serious things, because that's actually the really best way to do comedy is to that's the thing is comedy comes from tragedy. That is where it comes from.
Mhm,
It's a way to make you incorporate whatever you've been through into your life and see how you can manipulate it to feel better. So, that's not a very good way of explaining it, but I can't find the right words. So I personally enjoyed this episode, and I laughed out loud more than once, but there were also some really uncomfortable things in this episode, which I wasn't upset that they were uncomfortable. I thought it was good that they were uncomfortable.
mhm.
And now we've got this tenuous thing going on between Spock and Chapel, and I'm just like, she messed up. She messed up. She could have made this so much easier, and she didn't. And that's on
Yeah,
her. That's not on Spock.
yeah,
Although, Spock should have not been so giddy.
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's tough because, like I said, for me anyway, I've been on both sides of that sort of dynamic, and it's brutal for both
Mhm.
parties.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were things that could have been done by both parties to make
Mm.
things easier. They're falling into traps that humans have been falling into for millions of years, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it's tough to see that play out, but there's something so relatable about it, something that like all of us have shared at some point, kind of that it played really real to me, even with this background of this ridiculous sci-fi thing going on.
Mm.
um it also occurs to me that I've taken over the conversation and forgot to let you finish your thoughts and your rating for the
Oh, no, no,
episode
no.
before I
You're
lost you.
fine. No, you're fine. I wasn't even thinking about that. Um, the thing is, I agree about both of them making missteps, and the thing is that Spock has this is new to him, completely
Mhm.
new to him, and so he's the one that should be taken care of in this situation because she knows all of this stuff. She's human. He hasn't been through all of this like she has. And
Yeah.
also the fact that she has been very flighty when it comes to relationships until now.
Yeah.
And yeah. But anyway, I did enjoy this episode. It was gloriously colorful, to say the
Mhm.
least. And we got a little bit of character development. I love Beto. I want to see more of him. Uh I love new guy in sick bay. I can't remember his name. Did we get his name
And
actually?
Ensign Gamble, I think?
Gamble.
To be fair,
Gamble.
I don't know, did they say his name in this one?
I don't know.
I'm
It
not
doesn't
sure.
matter because that
Yeah.
is I couldn't remember his name. I kept wanting to call him Ransom, and because I knew it was it was a two-syllable thing, and
Mhm.
it was something that was like close to dangerous or something like that. I couldn't remember Gamble. I could have looked it up, but no, I didn't. So I will I for being a comedy episode, I think it's pretty high on the list for me, and I would give this one giant dancing La'an.
Mm, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I really enjoyed this as well. It is a bit jarring, especially back to back with the episode before it. Like it's a wild shift in tone, in pacing, in a lot of things. Like it's I think the episode that we put out about it yesterday on Positively Trek was downshifting from warp 9 to full impulse in 3 seconds or something like that. It it's it's a jarring shift. So I don't think they did themselves any favors by putting them together out on the same night. That said, like both of them are quintessentially Strange New Worlds. Like
Mm.
they both fit with what this series has been. I really enjoyed it. A lot of it could be just because I love Reese Darby so much. I was
Mhm,
just giddy every time he was on screen.
mhm.
Incidentally, he was recently on a guest on a podcast that I love called No Such Thing as a Fish, and I came away from that episode, it's about an hour long with him interacting with the hosts. I'm like, I don't know that like I would absolutely love to spend an evening with him, or if I would be like just insane by the end of the evening because of his energy and like I honestly don't know if I could spend a lot of time with him, to be fair. But man, is he entertaining to watch. He could just be playing a part too, even in the podcast. I bet you in person he's a much more normal,
Mhm.
reasonable person.
Lovely guy, lovely guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one little side note, I want they've been talking about it in the comments a little bit with Scotty earlier in the episode. I'm trying to find the comment. Oh yeah, Ricky was saying Scotty saying he wasn't a big drinker earlier in the episode was great.
Mhm.
And I feel like if you, especially on the second watch, you pick up little things in the background. If you watch what's going on in that scene, so he's like, "Oh, I'm not a big drinker," and they give him this drink. I think it was Saurian brandy in the scene, And if you watch while things are going on in the foreground, he's taking a sip and he's like, I may actually have some more of that, please. Was that the moment he became the Scotty we see later? Because later on he does order a Guinness at the wedding.
Mhm.
And there's a conversation to be had there about product placement and stuff in Star Trek as well, which I've been seeing a bit of discussion both here and online. So interesting, slippery slope possibly there. But anyway, I don't know if we'll see more of that. Paramount's pretty hard up. But anyway, so for this episode, I'm going to give it one impressive ball of plasma that speaks in the voice of John Delancey. I really like this episode.
Perfection.
Definitely. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. This has been fun. Once we get the kinks kind of ironed out and remember how to do this whole thing, this has been really great. Be sure to go to the Positively Trek discussion group on Facebook if you want to have conversations about this or any episodes or any topic to do with Star Trek. And we'll see you next week for Shuttle to Kenfori. The whimsically titled episode for next week, which is a very clever wordplay with that title as well, given what it's about. But that's all I'm going to say. So thank you all so much for watching. Brandi, tell people about your podcasts that you've got going on because they're wonderful.
Thank you. Now that Strange New Worlds is back, Boldly Go is coming back. It's going to look a little different, sound a little different, I guess I should say, because it is just really hard to find female guests for every episode because we're all so freaking busy. So my husband is going to help me out with that because he is an honorary female. He was raised by women, does not have an ounce of toxic masculinity in him anywhere. And so he's going to help me out. And we're kind of going to go the shield podulation way, which I'll talk about that in a second, where we're just not going to edit because life's too short to spend hours editing something that took us an hour to record. So we're just not doing it. And so we will be getting an episode out for these first 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds this coming week. And shield podulation, obviously, we talk about a new episode, not a new episode, an episode of Star Trek it's going to be every week after next week. And we're going to go weekly so that we can get through this before we die.
It'll only take 19 years instead of 38.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we have AI pick we have Siri pick an episode number for us, and then we watch that episode and we come and talk to you about it. And we don't edit that either, but don't worry, there's still intro and outro music and stuff like that, and we do a little noise reduction and levels and things like that. But other than that, as far as the actual talking, everything you hear is everything we said as we said it. So keep that in mind. And so you'll be hearing from us on both of those podcasts in the coming week.
Awesome. And over on Positively Trek, we're doing weekly episodes through Strange New Worlds for each episode that comes out. So our episode that covers the first 2 episodes just came out yesterday. We're recording those weekly through to the end of the season. And also we're still going to be covering the comics. So Brandi and I will be doing 1 episode per month, basically. And the plan right now is for that to come out on the last day of the month, just kind of doing a roundup of the month's Star Trek comic releases. So Brandi, we need to talk about recording that one for July because both issues for July have already come out. So
yeah, they have.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. We love having you all here. And as always, live logs and proper.